Hello, welcome to the Nerdy Folks Podcast, a conversation about the nerdy things we love and the things that matter most. My name is Matthew Seipel Anderson.
And I am Katie Seipel Anderson.
We are the hosts of the Nerdy Folks Podcast. We love this community, and we're glad you're with us today. And Katie, it is quite amazing that you are able to still be on the show today. You just had cavities done.
Cavity.
Oh, it was just one.
Just one. But they did have to numb my entire side of my mouth, and it is still numb. So that's not very fun. So if I talk weird, that is why.
I had a baby tooth pulled when I was about Willem's age, so probably 12 or something. Willem's 11. Anyway, I was all numbed up, and my mom took me to McDonald's, and there was this stubborn pickle in my cheeseburger that I could not bite through. And then my whole lip swelled up because I had been biting through my lip. I had a huge swollen lip.
Well, that just says that I should probably wait a little bit longer to eat. I can handle it.
Well, on today's episode...
Wait, I just have to say, it's been 8 years since I've been to the dentist, which I'm not proud of. It's important to go to the dentist. But it's been a long time since I've been to the dentist, but I only had one cavity. One cavity is one cavity too many, but still.
Good job.
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Good job. That deserves a round of applause. Well, on today's episode, we're talking about Madam Web just a little bit, and we're talking about team-ups. So we're going to mention the Sinister Six, the Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and maybe even how teams can make your life better. So strap in. It's an exciting episode. You're not going to want to miss 1 minute of it. So I've read a number of articles about Madam Web. Like the internet loves talking about the atomic bomb that is Madam Web.
They love to hate.
They love to hate.
The internet loves to hate.
People, you know what? That should be a t-shirt. The internet loves to hate.
Oh, man.
There was a post on X, the social media formerly known as Twitter.
And everyone always has to say that.
Right.
People say X, the social media formerly known as Twitter. It's what, when you read articles, it's what they say.
So this person had taken a little illegal video while they were in the theater, because there's a scene in Madam Web where one of the microphones accidentally went into the scene and they didn't catch it.
You're kidding.
No, and this person went back to film it because they thought they saw it, and they were like, no, that can't be what I think it was, and it totally was. So, boo-doo.
Someone on the editing team is going to get a talk to.
Yeah, probably. So Madam Web is part of Sony's Spiderverse, and the next movie to come out is Kraven the Hunter, and that's part of that whole world. But if that doesn't do well, it might actually be curtains for that whole universe, which would be a little sad because we may never get to see an actual Sinister Six movie. Sinister Six, if you're a comic buff, includes characters like Electro, Kraven the Hunter, Mysterio, Sandman, Vulture, Dr. Octopus, and that one lizard guy whose name I can't remember, but you all know who I'm talking about. Sony had been revving up to do Sinister Six when they did the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and then those didn't do well, so they canceled those, and then they rebooted kind of along with Marvel, and now it's not going so well again. So I don't know what the future is going to hold for the Sony Spider-Verse. I'm sure they'll do more Miles Morales cartoon Spider-Verse things because those have been a big hit. But there are other teams and other interesting things happening in the comic book world. Most notably, Thunderbolts is set to appear May of 2025, so about a year from now, just over a year from now. And they've been working on teasing this team for quite a long time. They had the character Val in a lot of the post-credit scenes, like the post-credits of Black Widow. And so Thunderbolts is sort of a team of anti-heroes. It includes Yelena, who is Black Widow's sister, Bucky Barnes, a.k.a. Winter Soldier, John Walker, who I refer to as Bad Cap, Red Guardian, who was sort of like Black Widow's father, not biological father, but that fatherly character, the big goofy Russian who I really enjoyed. And then they're going to pull in a few villains who you MCU diehards will recognize, Taskmaster and Ghost. So, and there might be other characters too, who knows, but that should be kind of fun.
I've been wondering what's going to happen with that because those scenes always stuck out to me because I'm like, what is going to happen? Who is that? What is she doing? So I hope that one actually happens in May 2025.
Marvel does do a great job of playing the long game and building up to things. So that could have a really cool payoff for fans. And it could be entertaining. Like, that's an entertaining ensemble of characters, like very colorful.
Interesting.
And they're kind of bad, but they're not so bad that you don't like them.
Well,
I don't know.
Depends on when in the movie you're introduced to them. When they're being really bad, you probably don't like them.
I think probably the most exciting team up that's been announced recently, and this just came out, is Fantastic Four. Marvel's going to take another run at Fantastic Four. And let me read this little blurb from Wikipedia.
Don't read the whole thing.
Oh, come on. My narrating voice is really good.
So, fun fact, Matt is writing a book. He's still writing the book that we've been talking about, and he does it very frequently, and it's wonderful. He also told me he was writing a speech in the book. And he was like working on it for like multiple days, and I'm like, that's too long of a speech for a book. Matt likes the information.
The speech has mostly been cut. I got it down to like a page. It's really dynamic. So, Fantastic Four, if you're unfamiliar with them, they are comprised of Mr. Fantastic, who has powers of stretchiness. Did you ever have a Stretch Armstrong toy as a kid?
No, I didn't.
Well, they were cool, and this is
Don't
like
make me feel bad about that.
Yeah, it wasn't that cool.
I don't think I ever asked for one either, so...
So Mr. Fantastic has stretchy powers.
Wait, did you ever have one of those?
I think I did.
I bet you did.
And I think I broke it.
Stretch it too far?
Yeah. It can stretch forever, can it? Snap.
Doesn't stretch to the moon.
There's another character named Susan Storm, a.k.a. the Invisible Woman. She can turn invisible, and she can use psychic powers to make force fields and shoot things.
Why is she called Storm?
I don't know. I think it's just her name. There's also Ben Grimm, who's a kind of cantankerous character. He has super strength, and he gets like this rocky exterior on his skin. So he becomes like a big hulking, kind of a Hulk type character. And the last one is Joseph Quinn, also known as the Human Torch. He can become fiery, and he can fly.
Could be a fiery flying flame.
Fun fact, there's a version of Fantastic Four that I think also bombed, and the guy who played the Human Torch is Chris Evans, who then went on to play Captain America.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Now it makes me want to look that one up.
Yeah, totally. So Fantastic Four was, huge in the comic book world, and what made it unique is that Fantastic Four broke with some of the conventions of comic books at the time. And the characters argued with one another. They had personal problems. They had an interesting group dynamic, which was different than the sort of perfect Superman-type superheroes that came before them. Another thing that's interesting about Fantastic Four is I think the stakes are kind of high with Fantastic Four, because the powers that be at Marvel have decided to pivot away from using Kang as a major character.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they're just saying, okay, Kang's story has been wrapped up with the things he's been in, and they're going to tie up a few loose ends, and they're going to start using a character named Dr. Doom.
That's a good name.
Yeah, Dr. Doom. And he is a big Fantastic Four character. Fantastic Four has flopped like 2 times previously, like I said. So it'll be interesting to see if Marvel can get it right and produce a great movie that will kickstart and add some new energy to their next phase.
I mean, how can you not with a villain like Dr. Doom?
Yeah!
So with Fantastic Four, you mentioned that they kind of broke with the mold because the characters didn't lock in real well together. So they didn't operate as a team super well.
I think so. They're kind of portrayed as almost like a dysfunctional family. Like they do work together, but they also have conflict between them.
I wouldn't say that's necessarily dysfunctional. I think most people, most teams are groups of any kind, whether it's like a community group, a family, a team. There's going to be some conflict that's probably healthy, actually. It's just how you work through it that really counts and matters, and how.
That's actually a really good practical point because I think sometimes in life we shy away from relationships because we're scared of conflict. And really, conflict is very healthy and very normal. And learning to deal with conflict and work through things is a huge skill in life.
I think one of the big things for working through conflict in any relationship, whether it's a team relationship or an individual relationship, is to kind of keep the big picture, the end goal, the important things in mind, because you can really drill down into the little things like you annoy me because of this, or you didn't do that, or you should have done this. And a lot of that stuff needs to be addressed, but it can be addressed much healthier and much more respectfully if you keep the big picture in mind. Conflict can really be uncomfortable, but it's also worth it because I think that you can go so much farther, do so much more, and accomplish so much, and just be a healthier person yourself when you have solid relationships and teams, whether it's for work or for community things or for your own individual life. It's good to have that team. And it reminds me of a scripture, Ecclesiastes 4:12, that says, "Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." So when you really kind of work together and you can work through the differences and you have that bigger picture of we're all working towards the same goal, we care about each other, we're all working towards the same goal, it can really make it so that everyone can stand a little stronger and more can get done.
That's great. That's great advice. Makes me think of how I can build more relationships into my own life and how much more I could accomplish when I'm working with other people. I tend to be someone who likes to work alone a lot. And, I want to like go off into the forest and create something and then come back out and have everyone just admire me. But that never works very well. Working with other people definitely produces better results.
There's definitely a balance to it. Some of us like to work with people kind of all the time, and some people are much better situated to kind of like retreat and come up with some ideas and do things and then come back. But I still think that team dynamics will look different, will act different. They're going to be different. Your work team is going to be different than your home team or your family life versus your friend team, your friends that are supportive of you, or if you're involved in some community or nonprofit or something that you really feel passionate about, that team dynamic is going to be different. But team dynamics can be very different in how you operate, but still, I think it makes us stronger when we can operate as a team and have that community.
So to sum up what you're saying, keeping your eye on the big picture, figuring out yourself and how you can plug into a team and work with other people in a way that fits who you are, and then being willing to step into the mess of teamwork, that's how you can go farther and do more and be happier.
I think so.
Cool.
Of course, you have to be in the right team. If you find you're in a toxic team or you have like relationships that are actually bringing you down and you can't seem to work things out or someone's not willing, well, then it might be time to look for a different team environment. But
if you find the team you're joining is called the Sinister Six,
you might want to think about it.
Do not join that team.
That might not be the right team for you.
Well, we would love for you to be a part of our team. Like, subscribe the podcast, help us out. If you want to connect with us, head over to www.nerdyfolks.com. You can shoot us an email. You can head over to Facebook and join our Facebook group. There are just so many ways to connect with us, and we would love it. So thanks so much for listening. Go join a team. Until next time, God bless. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.